All right, Parasu, tell me about yourself.
All right. First of all, thank you so much, Aisha, for bringing me online to your followers. I am Parashuram Chandrasekharan. I I'm a managing consulting expert in CGI. That's my designation. As part of my role, I'm an agile coach, SAFe practice consultant. I train, consult. I train on SAFe, and also I consult our clients on SAFe or agile methodologies, Kanban method, right, and Scrum. Apart from that, currently in this year, I started looking at business growth for also for our portfolio. Um, that is my profession. Whereas as a passion, I am part of a community called Agile Network India, which is a thought leadership community where we have about 10,000 plus followers on LinkedIn. And I'm proud to say like I'm being part of the community for the past 2 years. And we have rolled up hundreds of events in a year. And 8 conferences in the last 2 years after the pandemic, where we, combine thought leadership from the industry. We get thought leadership from the academic background, that is colleges, and then we give it to the, people who are in need. It could be uh, software engineers, it could be project managers, it could be, uh, graduate students who are really looking for this knowledge. So yeah, I'm creating or fine tuning this community. That is my passion. Making it sustainable, right? Yeah, that is pretty much on the professional and passion front. I also ride a motorbike quite often. You know, uh, so yeah, that's pretty much about me.
Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Parasu. That's very, very nice. So welcome back to Aisha Tech. I am very happy to have you all join our platform. For our new subscriber and our existing subscribers, we welcome you all to the channel. And today we have our lead Agile coach, Parasu. Parasu have always been one of my great mentors throughout my Agile journey. I am so happy to have him in here to help share his wealth of knowledge. So stay tuned, don't move. You're going to be learning a lot from this session today. And if you have not yet subscribed to our channel, right now is the time for you to do so, so you won't miss this beautiful series from experts like Parasum and others. All right, so Parasum, thank you for that beautiful introduction about yourself, and I love about the impact you've already created in your community. That's huge. Hopefully one day I will get there too. So tell me a little bit about your experience working in the Agile space as a Scrum Master before you became an Agile coach.
All right. So that's a interesting piece, right? So I've been in this particular role. So from say 2016, 17 times. So that looks like, it's quite long, right? 8 years or so. So when I started, I would say we started just by running the events, right? If you are if we have if the team has a daily stand-up, or if the team has planning and 5 events that Scrum prescribes about, then we are called agile teams, and the the person who runs all of this is called the Scrum Master. That is where it all started. And then I was part of a very interesting you know I would say product development, where our billing cycle was very challenging, right? Where we had a sprint-based billing. Okay, that was a very, very challenging experience, in my early days, where 50%, or I would say, if the team delivers 50% of what is committed, then only the 50% of billing would be given for the team for that particular sprint. Otherwise, if you're not, delivering 50%, you get 0%. You get
Oh,
nothing. That means
really? That's crazy.
really that is how we started in 2018 October. I still remember this experience. I know this class was there, but I don't know this class doesn't apply for the first two sprints. I know this class was there. I was not aware this class was not there for first two sprints. The first anti-pattern that I have done that particular time in the first sprint was, to say to impress my leadership team uh, in a traditional way. Okay, hey, there is delivery at the end of this sprint. I called all the developers and testers to work over the weekend to complete the delivery. Okay, so I know that's where I
Same.
started. That's where I started, right? I'm being very candid on that. That's where I started. I still remember Monday morning we were, out of 40 or 35 story points, only 7.7 story points worth work was completed. We are going in front of the customer, like saying, okay, why we were not able to complete, what were the challenges and all that. And suddenly I was in, ultimate pressure. Okay, what's it? Right. Then, my leader, the COO came in to uh, save us, saying, hey, don't worry, that's a class which is there. We have to, collaborate with the customer. And initially, for the first two sprints, that is not there. Okay. Um, I'll tell what kind of impact that anti-pattern created on me was, hey, nobody should go into that particular team because there is a scrum master or a project manager who is going to be really pushy and get you lot done in a very short of time. So people were pushing back to come and get onboarded onto my team. All right, that is where I started.
Wow.
Okay, 2018. So sorry, not even 2018. It was 2017 October times. All right. And then eventually, I was given like multiple case studies by my mentor saying, hey, no, this is not how a Scrum Master operates. As a Scrum Master, you understand what is the reality. It is not necessary that you need to push. Okay, what you need to push is to resolve the impediments rather than pushing the people to, get things done, though there is an impediment. Okay. So you should have to gain the trust. And at the same time, you know, it's not necessary that, you have to be 100% occupied. So just free up yourself. Look at the things very, in a system thinking view, right? How things are moving from end to end rather than going deep and trying to solve every problem. No, you have to ensure people solve the problem for you rather than you getting in and solving it. So, every day I used to have a coaching session with my manager, not even my manager, it like a leadership team, my COO, where he used to guide me in all of the steps. So that time I used to read a lot of books. I used to spend a lot of time, come out of the team, look at what is really happening, understand, start negotiating with the customer. It's what would be able to be delivered, what we cannot, you know, that is what has changed, eventually me. That was my very first learning as a Scrum Master. This is really very close to my heart,
Mhm.
right? For example, what happens if that learning was not there?
Yeah.
Right? You wouldn't have, you wouldn't see me who was sitting in front of you,
Yeah.
with whatever nice words that Aisha had said, right? So it's not me. That is what is the first stepping stone.
Thank you
That's
so
where
much
it all
for
started.
Thank you for being so honest and being so vulnerable to share such a delicate experience. Because sometimes people find it difficult to share when they do not know. It's interesting how you are so vulnerable and you're sharing like what you did then as a Scrum Master and later on shaped your whole experience of now you being what you are today.
Exactly.
It's really nice. Myself, I've done multiple mistakes. Like I can't even count. Like one time I was asked to close a sprint for a whole art. I went and closed the wrong sprint. I closed the wrong, I started the wrong sprint, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, Aisha, what's going on? You like literally started the wrong sprint." I was like, "Oh my God, I'm about to die," because it impacted like the whole art. It was insane. Because
You know, in fact, right, see, all of this experiences only, take us to a maturity level,
yeah,
right? Hey, mistakes are bound to happen.
yeah,
It is not that that mistake is end of life,
yeah,
right? Maybe it is getting very philosophical, but that's the truth, right? It is, what is the learning that you have got from that mistake?
yeah,
Okay, so maybe that is a very good segue for the next experience, right? I finished my tenure there, and I had moved into a different organization, maybe mid 2018 or late 2018. You know, I know what is my role is. So now I'm going into a new team where here culturally this team is different. Where I was earlier was a very junior team. They're all good when I follow up on what's happening, what's not, and all that. So here there is a cultural shift. Everybody is like 10, 12 years of experience. I hold like 9, 10 years of experience and I am part of that particular team. And I am a Scrum Master. And as always, like very energetic. I used to go back and just have a word with them or try to get to understand or follow up. Hey, what's going on? How can I help you? Right? In this experience, uh, at the end of one sprint, the team has escalated on me. Hey, who is this new guy? Why is he constantly following up on us? Right? That gave another view for me. Hey, it's not necessary. Contextually, you have to see which type of team members need a constant follow-up, where you need to constantly follow up, and what kind of questions that you ask, in the daily stand-up itself, so that you need not follow up. For example, in the daily stand-up itself, if I had asked, you know, what is the expected timeline, right? So, if or set the expectations to them, saying, if at all you have anything, please put on the chat box or communicate to the team chat box. All is, well settled there. I need not really go back and follow up, right? This is the second experience where it really fired back. And then, okay, then again, it all goes back to the leaders who we get, right? Leaders took it very positively and cascaded to me, saying, hey, Parshu, yes, we know your energy. Everybody likes your energy. And at the same time, team is feeling a little, overwhelming when you are going and asking for that. So you have to reduce. So find ways, how could you reduce that, right? That is where I have, you know, read and defined these practices, like anything and everything, cover it during the daily stand-up, right? Have your working agreement clearly set up, where Parshu can come and ask you, where you would directly proactively come back.
yeah,
So then once that was done, with but that particular team, until that particular engagement was there, everything was like too rosy, right? So that is a different organization, different culture. That is
yeah,
a kind of experience,
yeah.
right? Very, very subtle experiences, right? So yeah, that's
You're
That's
right.
that's how.
The environment definitely, that's why as a Scrum Master, I always coach my mentees and students and say that the environment you work will shape you. And based on that
Exactly.
environment will determine the way how you can approach the team, right? Not
Mm.
what you did in
Yeah,
company A might be so different what you work as in company B. So you
right.
really, really have to also have the mindset of adaptability, not just preaching it to people, but you yourself, you have to model that behavior. If not, you cannot succeed.
Absolutely.
You cannot be successful as a Scrum Master.
Exactly. Now that actually takes way to the third experience where there are multiple things this experience taught me, right? One is the concise communication, right? And in fact, I should not put concise communication. What type of communication is needed for different levels of people? That is one. And understanding the expectation of different levels of people, right? In this experience where I was there supporting, I was at an organization A, whereas we had a vendor organization B. Okay. So I was a Scrum Master for a Scrum Master or a Senior Scrum Master for a vendor organization B. Okay. So, I was supporting these people and I had this program managing responsibilities also added on top of this. From vendor organization A, so we were showing all the progress, in the QBR and everything seemed good. Okay. Suddenly, towards the end of the, program as such, there was a certain thing where the expectation from vendor organization A was different, not in terms of the requirement, but in terms of the timelines. Whereas how it was delivered was different. Then my product senior product persons from the vendor organization was helping me to understand, hey, to my requirement, you should have went to the critical path, identify what is the priority requirements that has to come out, and you should have helped drive the you know uh, product development in such a way your most valuable or minimum valuable product comes out first rather than delivering the whole thing. See, I was very successful in terms of delivering the product with respect to, you know, with respect to the team perspective. But what I missed was what is needed for the end customer,
The MVP.
right? Yeah, MVP. It was all successful. See, everybody was happy.
Mm.
It got delivered. Everything was fine. But the expected timelines, there was a mismatch. Okay. See, there could be multiple levels. Hey, why this was not called out earlier? I don't want to go into that kind of a, you know, pointing fingers type of a thing, but that was a great learning, right? So that is on the communication from the, sorry, alignment or understanding from the leadership, whereas communication. So my emails used to be long most of the times. So whenever I have an email sent back to the senior leadership on the vendor and the organization A, immediately there used to be a bash. Hey, what kind of a communication is this? All right. So the communication is very, very key in terms of whom you are communicating. That kind of communication is really good when you are communicating with a team with a lot of details in it. Whereas when you are communicating with the senior
Yeah.
leadership, you have to be very, very concise
Mhm.
in terms of showing the progress or in terms of showing you know how things are moving. Because what they want, you need to understand what they want and what they do not want to hear also in certain cases.
That's a great
Those two learnings were, see, look at how it all shaped up. When when I started, I was still
name.
going in and trying to understand every piece of it, right? And no, I have to take a step back, have a systems view, and start getting people involved and getting things done. And in the next experience, where I was overwhelming my team with constant follow-ups, no, even there, I have to step back, have a working agreement with the team, go along, culturally, different teams operate in a different way. Third and fourth learning is constant communication and what the customer really wants.
And you were very involved with the customers and high-level stakeholder due to you playing the role of a Scrum Master and a product manager, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
No, I was not playing both Scrum Master and Product Manager role. See, here in that particular case, I was a program manager,
Program manager. Okay, that
right?
makes sense.
Yes, program manager.
All
So
right.
I was
That's
responsible for
different.
delivering it on time as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So yeah,
So I know you
the
mentioned MVP. What's your understanding or what can you tell our viewers around MVP?
very good question, right?
That's what MVP stands for.
Minimum viable product. Okay. However, see, look at this. You are you will have multiple viewers here, right? So it could be a technical solution, or it could be a non-technical, product type of a solution. Okay. I'll tell in terms of YouTube. Okay. So you identify a problem. You you personally identify a problem. Hey, there is a big knowledge gap on a particular tech. Let's say Scrum Master. Okay. In Scrum Master also there is a big knowledge gap to on problem solving. I'm just giving an example. Okay. So how do I solve this? Then Aisha comes up with an idea saying, okay, I'll create some YouTube shorts and YouTube videos which addresses or gives techniques to Scrum Masters how this problem solving is done. Okay. I the initial MVP would be, right? I'll give, say, one or two videos, put up on my channel, and share with my close network just to understand, hey, this is what, I think this is what is missing in the current Scrum Master industry where people are not understanding how problem solving is done. Well, this is what is the content I have created. Share your feedback. Check how this is. And you would give to the real users also saying, hey, how this product is. Hey, here the product is your YouTube video, right? Immediately you get a feedback saying, hey, oh, this content is really good. This is what we are really missing. Then immediately you start preparing content in that particular side and you start persevering and going forward. However, someone gives a feedback, no, you misunderstood the problem. We are not looking for this. We need a slight change. Immediately you pivot your idea and start thinking differently, right? The initial product that you have given to your potential end users to understand, you know, is your understanding of the problem is correct or not? That is your minimum viable product, right? This could go into any of the, you know,
Product.
products or solutions. But I have given YouTube because your YouTube viewers would be able to relate it
Yeah,
very
that was
precisely.
excellent. That was excellent definition because sometimes people confuse so much with the minimum viable product. I love how you made the example with the YouTube and the focus on that initial build, right? Whereby
Yeah,
if that's done, the small little people you trust can get the feedback, and that can hopefully help determine, oh, should we continue or should we stop? And that product
exactly.
becomes the minimum viable product. That's so true. All right.
Yeah.
So speaking about progress, because you have product program management experience and Scrum Master and all this other experience, what is one difficult project you've worked for, and why was it so difficult?
Oh, difficult. See, I'll not call anything as difficult, right? See, maybe I would say all this experience is what I have shared. Okay. Potentially on that particular day or a point where it would have been challenging today when I reflect back on that challenging project, it has really given me a lot of learnings from it, right? So I do not want to scale it like, okay, this is difficult, that is more difficult. Because every project there is a learning, right? So all through I have explained about my 3 or 4 years. In 4 years, or 3 years, I've got multiple layers of learning opportunities. Maybe at that particular time it was a difficult opportunity, but those were the learning opportunities which had supported me about what I am today.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
the answer.
So, that way I would say, no, that was good learning opportunity. Rather, I'll say a very recent example, right? I was doing one of the SAFe trainings for one of my customers, where the trainees there was all leaders, really high profile CXOs joining in there. So most of the examples that we were talking on day one of the training was pretty technical examples. Technical in the sense where at a team level examples, where a CXO level person was not able to resonate, or a person coming from a business function like HR, sales, or marketing was not able to relate, what kind of technical team levels problems that have been discussed. That was a straight away feedback on face during the training, and in the feedback of that particular day was given. So immediately that was an opportunity for us to improvise. Okay, then we rolled back, went to the board, and we have figured out, okay, what kind of examples this particular team needs. So for me, every day is an opportunity to learn and look forward, rather than I want to, you know, give a stamp. Okay, this was more challenging. I don't want to have it again, right?
Yeah,
Maybe if I have a similar experience now, uh, then it is like I did not learn anything from my previous experience.
great point.
No, that's how I might look at it. In fact, whenever I get the same feedback like last time, so I would rather ask like, hey, could you be a little more specific so that I go and change that particular piece a little more rather than being very generic. So in short, uh, yeah, challenges are always there every day. So I don't want to quote this was challenging and this was not challenging. Yeah.
Great point. So since I know you're a safe trainer, right? Let's talk a little bit about safe.
Okay.
So what's your old take about companies that adopt safe? Why do you think it worked and why do you think it do not work?
Brilliant question. Okay, my straightforward answer is I adopt SAFe, okay, just for the sake that Aisha's Scrum Tech has adopted SAFe. Then my SAFe implementation may or may not work. Okay, the first thing is I need to understand what are my North Star goals? Why is the change really required for me? Okay, then go back and try to understand what is the framework that I need. Then if SAFe suits you, there go and adapt SAFe. That is the mismatch. Now, most of the organization, so everybody is talking safe. Okay, let me also be safe. Every organization is agile. Let me also see. I was recently reading a book, Life and DNA, or I am not able to remember the title exactly. This book talks about how Buddhism and the science matches at one particular point, right? So my constant reflection from that book of that particular book is, see, the change in life is constant that everybody is aware of. That means we are also in turn agile, adapting to the change, whatever the life throws on us, right? Even in the business case, even in the work, that is what it is, all right? So now, what is your scale of change? What is your scale? If you are talking about 20-25 member team and your organization is very small and you wanted to grow, just use small methodologies to constantly imbibe change to us. If you're a bigger organization where you need, proper structure and, value stream network and all the, sophisticated methods to align the whole organization of that particular scale, then go adopt SAFe. But do not do just for the sake of Aisha Scrum Tech is doing. That is why I need to adopt SAFe. No, don't do that.
Yeah,
You might fail. I'm not saying you will fail, but you might fail.
yeah.
That's my 2 cents.
That's a great
So
point.
change is constant. We are all agile.
Yeah.
Accept that. Based on that, you take your decision. Do you need SAFe or you're already safe?
So, what is the role of a Scrum Master in safe environments?
What SAFe prescribes is a Scrum Master is at a team level. When we look at the essential SAFe configuration, in that a Scrum Master is part of your agile team with a core responsibility of how he runs the Scrum team effectively, how he is able to extract outcomes from them effectively, right? When your product owner is someone who is giving the what, whereas your Scrum Master is the person, how that what is converted into value, that is what is your Scrum Master's role.
Yeah. So, recently they changed the title in the safe environment, calling Scrum Master
Yes,
Team Coach.
yes,
What are some reasons do you think why they started to call Scrum Master Team Coach?
right. See, this is, I would say, in this particular context, that is very relevant, right? That's how I feel, because I am also for my organization, I am a proponent of SAFe in the organization's perspective. No, all the Scrum Masters are teacher, mentor, coach. They wear a different, all five hats of a coach, as needed for the team. So, considering that, Scrum Master at a team level could be called a team coach. That is what SAFe prescribes.
Yeah, I agree with
He is
you.
a team level coach.
Yeah.
Okay, it's at a team level coach where when there is you know a quick question comes, there is he mentors. During a retrospective session, he asks open-ended questions, and also he coaches the team in terms of what they could do better. Need not he give solutions, but ask the right questions to help them think and arrive at a right solution. Right?
So, what can Scrum Masters do, right, to help prepare the team for better PI planning?
Okay. So maybe this is getting more into SAFe, but there are multiple ways, right? The Scrum Master is part of the PA planning as well. And in the team breakout, Scrum Masters play a very, very vital role, right? During the PA planning, where he has to collaborate with other Scrum Masters or other teams if at all there is a dependency for the team he is responsible for. Okay. and he is facilitating my discussions during the planning or the PI planning, where to understand based on the capacity, are we really be able to deliver? Okay, am I able to load based on my capacity? And am I trying to what do you say? Identify all the dependencies and identify or think through the right things, right? Think through the right things that are needed to develop this. Okay. To make the team successful in this PI, my Scrum Master's facilitation is going to play a vital role during the PI planning. So that how close the Scrum Master is with the team in facilitating and getting the PI planning done. Okay. So that would derive the right PI risks, right dependencies, right PI objectives for that particular team. And also, he's constantly collaborating with other teams and identifying what is, which team is dependent on his team and his team is, dependent on which team. All of this communication and collaboration, he's the right person where he is standing out and looking at a system level what is really happening and supporting the team, right? Raising the flag for the team. That's what he does during the PA planning process. That is going to be vital for what PA planning is
That's a
or
good
what
point.
outcome does the team gets out of the PA planning.
So in my experience, I've seen a lot of time product owners will complain that during pre-PI planning prep, before the PI itself, they will want Scrum Masters to better support them, to better help them, and they feel overwhelmed by the future breakdown to stories. They have to write all that stories and stuff. What are some ways do you think Scrum Masters can better support product owner for PI planning?
Okay. Here, understand, right? What are the needs of the product owner? Okay, what does he really need? Okay. So, are we gonna write all the stories before the PA planning? Or is it the right expectation? So, do you have real capacity to do that? If you do not have the capacity, call out. If you have the capacity, pull in people to get that during the you know, PA planning prep. Okay. And have that constant communication. And for me, product owner and scrum master, they are buddies, right? They should understand what is the need from the product owner and what he could provide. And at the same time, the vice versa, right? Because they both work hand in hand for, the right delivery, right? One simple tip I would give for scrum masters is understand what product owner really needs and gauge, is this really required to be done before the PA planning? And if it is that is really required, go back and check how we can do that eventually in the future PIs, right? It all comes back to one thing, that is capacity. Do I have capacity to do that? Having the right balance and the capacity what eventually matters, right? See, I could ask plenty of things, before the prep itself. I should have stories, I should have, refined and have the story points for everything. Yeah, expectation is right. Okay. However, with the current context, is it all possible? Okay. Where are we really spending more time? Understand and prioritize the right things. Okay. There is no like one solution fits everyone, but try to understand what is the problem and solve that particular problem in your context rather than trying for one solution. which is going to fit for all. That would be my take.
That's a good answer. Like that open mindset, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes I've been asked this question a lot, right? Where I'm asked, so Aisha, when it comes to PI planning, do I look at my team's average velocity or do I look at our capacity using the one story point equals 1 day? What is the true capacity we can use in our PA planning to set for our workload during PA planning in the breakout session? So what
Okay.
do you think about that, about capacity and
For for
velocity?
me, for me, it is very straightforward, right? If if it is a new team and you're doing it for the first time in the first PI, you would go with your capacity. 1 day is equal to one, whatever safe prescribes, right? It prescribes as, you would consider 1 day as one story point, but while considering for the PI planning, you would consider 80% of your effort
Yep,
as
80%.
your capacity. So for your one iteration which has 10 days, 8 story points is your one person's capacity.
Mhm.
That is what SAFe prescribes. So that is considered when you are starting your PI planning for the first time and it is a fresh team. However, I would rely on if it is an older team which has data for about last six, 5 to 10 sprints, I would consider 5 sprints or 6 sprints velocity as my capacity to go ahead and plan for my further PIs. I would not go back and do my capacity planning every time because that is a static number. But the reality or empirical data that we can get is your velocity.
100%. 100%. It's crazy how people always want to argue about this, and there's a lot of drama around. Like, it's so simple. Why would you focus on hours or numbers where you can just go through the true data, the true experience data that they have for the
Yeah, yeah,
past
certainly.
sprint? There's no better way to predict than that one. But I'm glad that you
Yeah.
also have the same point of view. So I know we've been indulging a lot around SAFe because you're SPC certified, so that's why I'm doing this. And you do a lot of trainings on SPCs, I mean on SAFe classes and all. What about IP sprints? What happens in IP sprints, and what is the role of the Scrum Master, or what should a Scrum Master do during IP sprints? Innovation and planning sprint. I mean innovation and planning, in case people ask my IP sprints.
Okay. Again, there are multiple aspects that happen, right? In your first week, where SAFe prescribes you could work on any innovation or a tech debt that is needed. SAFe also prescribes if you have any work that is spilled over from your previous sprints, you would rather do that, right? How Scrum Masters play a pivotal role is, um, especially in my previous experience, where we had used it for two things. One, at the end of this PI, we used to do the initial day for bug bash. Okay. So we used to plan where the Scrum Master used to get all the team members, facilitate a bug bash for about 10 to, let's say about 3 to 4 hours or 4 to 6 hours, right? To understand, okay, what is the quality of the system currently? Identify and complete that particular outstanding critical bugs or high priority bugs, if at all they get, so that your quality is constantly in check. That is one. And your Scrum Master also plays a pivotal role in understanding, hey, what is your what kind of optimization you can bring into the system in terms of tech debt, in terms of innovation. So he maintains that backlog and gives it back to prioritize and help the team build the right solutions for it in that time, right? Also, your Scrum Master is responsible for preparing the team for the PI system demo, which happens on day 2 of week 2. Also, he gets the data ready for your problem solving workshop. And he is the person who's getting your data ready in collaboration with the business owners in terms of what is the actual value for the team objectives, for the team PI objectives. And he is the person who would help plotting the predictability measure. So all of this, you take a Scrum Master, he is going to be the person who is going to show the mirror actually what is really happening on the ground in the team. So that team could look at the mirror and reflect upon what they could change. What is really good, what is really ugly, right? But he is not a judge. He is not judgmental, right? That is most important, right? He should not be like judgmental and start giving solutions to the problems. He is the person. He's just showing the mirror. Hey, this is what is happening. Is it right? Is it going good? But one anti-pattern all the Scrum Masters do, because we come from the technical background, we straight away see and become judgmental about certain things, and we start focusing on those. Sometimes it is important, sometimes our judgment could be wrong. We are discussing a wrong item, which is not really necessary. So take a step back, be the mirror.
That's a very great.
Facilitating and doing the IT sprint, you could do it like multiple ways,
Mhm.
but this is what SAFe prescribes, and that's how I, as a Scrum Master, was doing like 2 3 years back during the IT sprint.
That's very great answer. And if you have not yet subscribed to this channel, right now is the time to do so so you don't miss this wonderful series on bringing in experts to discuss all things Agile and Scrum. And go down in the comments and type hire Parasum or do not hire Parasum. And if you're interested in mentorship, do not hesitate to email us at admin@aishascrumtech.com and like, share to others so this video will be spread, right, with love. All right, Parasum. So thank you so much for sharing so much knowledge so far with this channel. Really, really appreciate it. So let's end with OKRs, right? So
All right.
tell me
So that is an
about,
ocean. Maybe I will ask you this. See, we're already on the 50-minute mark.
yes, maybe we can
Okay.
leave this for
Do you
next time.
really do you really want to talk about OKRs now?
No,
Because it's
no.
11:30 p.m. here.
Yeah.
I am like drowsing
I
now. I
agree.
am excited to talk about OKRs. That is close to
Next
my
time.
heart, right?
I
But
agree.
I don't want to do it for the sake of doing it.
Yes.
You know?
I
Yeah.
love your transparency. All right, guys. So now is the time for you to subscribe to this channel. So we're going to bring back Parasu. So he's going to talk about OKRs, right? Objective and key results. So what's going to be the role of the Scrum Master in OKR? How can you better support your organization, your teams in the whole OKR? And how can you ensure you align your OKR to your product backlog, right? So subscribe to this channel. Comment down below, hire Parasum or do not hire Parasum. So thank you all so much for watching. I really, really appreciate this. And Parasu, thank you so much for taking your time to come in here. For sharing your wealth of knowledge with us. And it's been such a huge honor to have you. You've helped me so much in my whole journey in this agile space. And thank you for always being there, for always wanting to help. I really, really, really appreciate that. Do you have any question or
Thank
any
you.
comments before you drop?
No questions, Aisha, but thank you very much. This as I would say, I appreciate your time to talk to me, talk to your viewers. This has given an opportunity for me to, quickly reflect back the journey, and everything is just there in
Mhm.
my head, like the journey I have been through. And I'm really grateful for whatever knowledge I had gained.
Mhm.
I would say I'm in the continuous learning process.
Yeah.
So I'm not the guru of all, right? I'm also learning with you all. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
happy to discuss and continuously
Yeah, you've
learn.
been really
Thank
true.
you very much.
So tell our viewers, how can they contact you? Like, I'm going to put it down to in the description, but just tell them like if you want to throw out your LinkedIn, your emails, so they can able to reach out.
Yeah, I can share my both email ID as well as my LinkedIn with you. You have it, Aisha, already.
I'll
So
add
that should be good enough to start
email,
with. And
email and LinkedIn.
yeah,
Now, what's your
yeah.
email?
If they, I'll type in to your chat box.
Okay.
So yeah. And if people are interested to reach me in WhatsApp directly, also that shouldn't be a problem too. All
Definitely,
right.
definitely.
Yeah.
I'll add
Yeah.
Parasum WhatsApp number. I'll also add his email and also his LinkedIn account in the description down below on this video. So do not miss it. Come back next week. So we're going to be having the follow-up video on OKR. So you don't miss this. Like and subscribe and share. And thank you all for watching Aisha Tech Platform. We truly, truly appreciate this. Our goal is to get to 10,000 before August. So kindly share, like this video. That will mean so much to this. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to comment, hire Parasum or do not hire Parasum. Thank you for watching. See you all again in our next video.